The founders zero point technology. So we have already discussed the ascension symptoms and the master template in earlier these sessions. And so we will move on now to other topics. Let us discuss changes in your technology. In the years to come, and it has been 10 years, 1 decade, there will be a great technological revolution that will make your recent technological revolution pale by comparison. However, it will not manifest itself until the forces of control and domination are on the decline. Until the internet became available worldwide, most true advances in technology were suppressed in order that the ruling elite could keep the existing systems in place. They do not want ordinary people to become too powerful, that's true, since they see that as a threat to their way of life, ruling and controlling. So most of the technologies that are truly useful has been suppressed on your world. You have had cures for cancer for over 100 years. You have had the ability to produce clean energy for a long time. You can grow food cheaply and abundantly, with enough to feed the world 10 times over. Although the blame lies partly on the ruling elite, it has been the overall consciousness of humanity that has kept the technology in the dark. Yeah. Most souls on earth believe in the idea of scarcity, a condition we will elaborate upon in our discussion of economics. You have all been taught that you cannot get something from nothing. Well, on the contrary, it is precisely the nothing, in this case the electromagnetic null zone, that holds the key to unlimited energy. Your physicists call this the 0 point. 0 point technology. In order for 0 point technology to proliferate open your world, your consciousness must embrace the idea that it is possible to live in a sea of infinite abundance. Some of your nuclear physicists have already proven that the universe contains an almost unlimited amount of potential energy. As souls evolve on earth and let go of their belief in scarcity, lack, and limitation, they create a powerful field of prosperity consciousness that then goes forth and alters the etheric field of earth sufficiently to allow 0 point devices to work consistently and accurately. Because you are electromagnetic beings, your EM field affects your experiments, especially the ones that deal with quantum mechanics and the 0 point. This has been proven in your quantum experiments. The observer affects the observed. In truth, the observer is the observed, since all is one. Consciousness affects the operation of technological devices. This fact is easily demonstrated in the quantum physics laboratory, but it also applies to the instruction of new technologies that are not readily accepted by all mainstream scientists. The belief that something will not work affects the outcome of experiments. Many of your inventors have developed what they call zero-point energy machines and have gotten very excited about the ability of these devices to tap into the etheric field and produce virtually unlimited energy, only to have their hopes dashed when skeptical colleagues are called together to witness the miracle. That's true. The physics of zero-point energy machines is too complicated to include in these treatise. It involves the understanding of multiple variable nonlinear vector equations, for example. However, the theory is very simple and will take a moment to enlighten you. The simplest analogy is that of a bipole magnetic, such as a bar magnet. As you know, one end of the magnet is positively charged and one end and another end is negatively charged. Sometimes the male and female, the electrons flow from the negative and toward the positive end, and the positrons flow from the positive and toward the negative end. However, a curious thing happens at the point that is exactly balanced between the two poles. At this point, the electrons and positrons lose their differentiation momentarily and become free form subatomic particles similar to monatomic resonant atoms, so they complement each other. Within the null zone between the polarities, there is virtually no resistance. Wow, it's amazing. They become one, even if symbiotically and momentarily. As you probably know, resistance is caused by the differential inherent within a medium, the device through which electrons and positrons pass. In other words, resistance is caused by the interaction of various particles with each other that are slightly or totally out of phase in terms of polarity. When there is exact resonance as there is at the 0 point, you have what has been termed superconductivity, which is essentially the opposite of resistance. For you electrical scientists, we beg your indulgence here as we are attempting a layman's explanation. We realize we are omitting some important facts and oversimplify our definitions. At the point of almost no resistance, you have nearly infinite energy potential. In this case, the infinite energy field of the etheric planes is accessed, since it's the etheric realm where the undifferentiated source energy tunnels into the physical realm. Wow, no wonder we cannot see energy. We can see like this vaguely, like a spark of light. That's amazing. I always knew that they were invisible, and so is the wind. But the wind, we still can see what it's able to manifest through its speed and aggressiveness or passivity, or whatever is the case. At the exact point where the polarities are balanced, you have a mini wormhole or portal opening up into the etheric realms. The technology that taps into the wormhole is visually the same technology that utilizes the zero-point field to propel a spacecraft through the etheric realms between physical points and 3D time-space. A slightly more in-depth description of spaceship technology follows in a few paragraphs. As stated above, up until the present time, only a few zero-point devices have been able to work on Earth, and then usually only the presence of those that fully believe and accept this technology. When in the presence of skeptics, the devices often fail due to the negatively polarized EM field present around such skeptics. We are, of course, referring to those who refuse to keep an open mind. After all, there is a form of healthy skepticism. The energy vibrations of negative expectations interact in the quantum environment and affect the ability of inventors to successfully demonstrate their equipment. Such devices are able to function only within a field of consciousness that accepts their reality. Even if the devices work constantly, Jews are unable or unwilling to accept their reality, not experience the miracle. As the Earth moves farther into the M zone and the polarization of the planet decreases, zero-point technology will have a more fertile ground in which to become developed. At the same time, the consciousness of the inventors will increase. They will create safe havens for themselves where their inventions cannot be stolen and suppressed. In order for new technologies to be mass-produced, the present systems of economics and politics must change significantly. In the following sections, we will take a look at these systems on Earth and offer predictions which cannot be 100% accurate, but which will likely be quite close. As Earth approaches the year 2012, the energy will shift sufficiently such that many of these devices will be able to be mass marketed to those who are ready and willing to accept that visually unlimited energy exists in the universe and can be harnessed to work on Earth. The enlightened societies of the fourth density Earth will be powered with such devices. There will be no more pollution, no more scarce energy, no more need to politically control fossil fuel supplies, and all the rest of this nonsense. Those who survive the exchanges will realize that the universe is a place of unlimited abundance on virtually every level. The vast majority of worlds in your galaxy have already learned to put away the childish toys of war, poverty, and separatist states. And we need that. We need that. We are in dire need of it badly. It's up to it's about time right now to change all this convention that we are having right now, all this disparity, these divisions and inequality, you know, and also abuse against animals, because in some countries still is rampant, and this must go. So as for us to evolve better, we need to transmute all this old energy and bring in a new energy with more consciousness towards animal nature and everything else, and make resources available to all, because it's enough for everybody. They should have no more slums, no more ghettos, no more poor, no difference between poor and rich. This is absurd, this is ridiculous even. And this large uh, potential planet full of potentials for everybody. They have realized that there is enough to go around, and their societies reflect the mass consciousness of prosperity. Exactly. Technology is created to serve humankind and to make mundane, repetitive tasks easier. Yeah, however, technology, even though your aliens has said that technology without wisdom, without consciousness, is a disaster, is a catastrophe, and it is a catastrophe. See, so that's in its purpose. It really has no purpose apart from this. Once the repetitive tasks of maintaining the physical body are mastered, human beings are free to create on a scale barely imagined by your more forthright visionaries. Proper use of technology does not create long hours of servitude to machines, although your computer programs might beg to differ. But wait a minute. If what you are doing is pave a way for a age of machinery, a age of AI, drones, etc., then how about the people who needs an income to just have the basic of life, like enough to eat, a roof from which to live? Huh? How about the jobs that will be taken by machinery, by AI, by drones? How about that? How will you answer to that? Will there be enough? Before you start with that, you must make sure that there will be enough for everybody, that they should have an alternative to um, to prosperity for everybody, that everyone's need be met before we start with this AI technology, 5G technology, etc. So as your technology evolves, a relatively small number of individuals will be employed to keep the machines running. How about the other individuals? Then how? Want on what? The machines themselves run and to improve their efficiency. Sometimes this, while the majority of souls will simply harness their usefulness and get on with their lives. How? 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 Tell me how. Will they have a place to stay, a roof to live? How about the bills that they have to pay? Up to now, unless the energy system totally changes, we find a way not to pay for electrical bills, water bill, etc. Water bill, there's place where we can have our water for free. There is. South America is one of those, some part of South America is, yeah. We can have mineral water, free source, you don't have to pay for it. Even in some slum in Brazil, also people don't pay for electricity or water. However, it doesn't apply to everybody. You know, there's even people in Brazil that they use plastic bottles, soft drink plastic bottles to harness energy from the solar energy from the sun using Clorox inside. And this man from Brazil has imparted this technology to some areas of the Philippines, for example, where people needs cheap or that they may not pay for electricity, and they impart this knowledge to them using many plastic bottles and harness the solar energy to help to illuminate their homes and give them free energy, free lights, free illumination. And so my question is, how the soul will be? They will eat grass, or they will have to just get their nutrient through frequencies? That's the question that should be answered. How will be these other souls? Tell me. They are talking about the poor souls, poor, literally poor people who barely have enough to eat. And sometimes these aliens, they surprise me. They go very smooth, look like um they are so, they are being honest, and they are being so true to themselves, and suddenly halfway they show their real intentions. You see, they show their other side, their other facets, other aspect of falsehood. And they sometimes take us by surprise, even at least me by surprise. As your society evolves into fourth and fifth densities, you will learn to travel interstellar space using EM field generation spaceships. Yeah, but when will this start? And it's not for everybody. As stated earlier, not everybody will make to this new Earth timeline. The technology of fourth and fifth density spacecraft has already been brought to your world, to the governments, right? And are being utilized by some of your so-called black ops programs. In the 1940s and 1950s, technology from Zeta Reticulus was reverse engineered by some of your scientists. Yeah, we know the what they call the Roswell history, Area 51, etc. Yeah, everybody, many people knows it by now. This technology is partially responsible for the rapid evolution of your computers and related devices. Really, but before that, the USA Army was already having some basic computer system. Is it before the 40s and the 50s? From what I know, they have even before that, but it was exclusively for the militia, army. It was not yet given to the public. The Zeta spaceships utilized the zero-point EM field to create a vacuum through which their ships can travel at multiples of the speed of light. In essence, they create mini wormholes or portals through which the ships are propelled. The more advanced craft are capable of traveling through time as well as space. And yes, some of your visitors have come from the future as well as from distant stars. Later in this book, we'll examine what is happening when you receive a visitation from the future. And when they say that, mean that it's not that it is still this future is coming. It's still on the process of coming, but it is already existent among the aliens. You see, they are in the future, and that we are still on the past. That's what they mean. Or to say it clear, we are still in a very regressive way. We are still have a very backward system of economics, geopolitics, etc. As humanity evolves further into fourth and fifth densities, the benevolent entities will openly share their technology, and souls from enlightened ET societies will freely come and go from the earth plane through the use of this craft. For obvious reasons, the benevolent beings who have this technology are unable to share it in a significant way until humanity puts away the thoughts of fear, attack, and violence. Oh, they are scared. They are very terrified of humans. That's why they do not approach them. Because humans are still wild. They need to conquer their fears and their discriminations, their prejudices. See? This is why we choose telepathic transmission and channeling as our primary means of communication with Earth. Only those souls that understand the ways of fifth density and higher are ready to use these technologies responsibly. I agree. Technology is not for all. Some will abuse the power. We cannot and will not give these devices directly to humanity until the fascination with war and military supremacy is ended on this earth. Good, that's it. Yeah, you're right. You are 200% right. That's so true. You cannot yet be trusted to use these devices for the highest good of humanity. Exactly. It's just like giving um, a bottle of kerosene and matches and a lighter to children and say, here, kids, make use of it inside a closed place. Surely there will be disasters inside the house when you give um, flammable substances and matches or lighter to kids. It is unfortunate that your intergalactic organization, popularly called the Galactic Federation or Galactic Confederation, or the GF or the GC, has had to intervene on 5 different occasions in order to keep you from blowing yourselves up with nuclear weapons. Exactly. Don't give, take away from them, neutralize all this, neutralize. 0 point devices are capable of doing far more than your nuclear technologies, and we will not allow these devices to fall into the hands of the unenlightened. Neutralize all their plants, then they deserve, because they don't know how to behave, and they behave like 12-year-olds, playing police and thief, playing Red Indians and others, and colon, immigrants. There's a film before Rim Tim Tim where Red Indians supposed to fight the pioneers that came to America. They visited America because those people from the past in the Atlantis, those people from Europe, were there in Atlantis before the Asiatic tribal shamanic people came and took the Americans as theirs, but it's not. It belonged to Europe once. America's Europe was a single continent once. Atlantis. They said, we will give you a short explanation of one of the applications of 0 point technology. Although the following information is already available on your planet from other sources, allow us to briefly summarize the method by which Zetas power and propel their craft. In the center of a spherical or saucer-shaped craft, there is a 0 point energy device that creates an EM field around the craft. This field can be adjusted from a circular pattern into an extreme oblongoidal or elliptical pattern, omnidirectionally or unidirectionally, depending on the desired direction of travel. This device creates a temporary vacuum in the time-space continuum, which could be likened to an enlarged 0 point field. In essence, the device creates an artificial portal or stargate through which the ship can now travel. The stargate is really an opening into the etheric realms, and so the ship is sucked into the vacuum of the 0 point field and enters the etheric realms. The etheric realms are constructed in such a manner as to allow the ship to move quickly from one part of physical space to another in a manner similar to what your sci-fi authors call warp speed. In reality, they are not traveling faster through conventional space, but taking shortcuts through etheric space and then re-emerging back into physical space at the desired point. Just like a straw, a tunnel, a straw. The best analogy is to take a flat piece of paper which represents conventional space, and then fold it so that the opposite ends are close together. The ship will be jumping across the gap between the parts of the paper. As the ship prepares to jump back into conventional space, the polarity of the 0-point device is altered to create a downward jump rather than an upward jump, in essence dialing a lower frequency instead of a higher one. Of course, this is again an oversimplified description, but it gives you some idea of how space and time can be transcended. A more rigorous discussion of how to move between dimensions will be forthcoming at a later time. Other technologies. In the years to come on your planet, there will be medical advices that will essentially stop the aging process of human bodies. Up to now haven't come, unless it's a plastic surgery or a gym and a diet. There's no way we can stop this. It's very hard, very hard, but it's possible. And I don't know, maybe the Koreans have already this machine, but I'm not seeing any proof up to now, because those people age very quickly, and that's why they do plastic surgery, you see. And it's very difficult to try and fight the DNA. So while this is not a substitute for spiritual awareness and ascension, it will nevertheless allow men of those moving into fourth density to remain in their physical bodies well past the conclusion of the galactic shift. The aging gene, no such thing. Some say, oh, it's in the genes, oh, in the gene. Some people doesn't age. How sure are you? How sure you see people that use plastic surgery? They choose only those the famous people to be a poster for endless age for, for youth. It doesn't make sense, because these people go through plastic surgery, they go through processes, they pay high amount of money, they sign for a package of about 10-20,000 in those clinics to recover, or at least try to recover or preserve the age. Either they will stop at that particular age, let's say they are 40, either they stop there and they will want to age up to the age of 50s, or they try to reverse, they try to make it younger than 40. You know what I mean? So what they do, they sign up those packages, and they go through treatment, as they call treatment, with laser, with massage, with lotion that they say can reverse the sign of age, and all this kind of stuff. And machines, laser machine, they go inside those capsule. This they have in Asia, in Korea, maybe Japan, I don't know. And they go inside that so to regenerate themselves. But we still don't know the outcome. We don't know, because all the people that I see that's 50 uh 50 plus, they're still looking old. Unless they go for plastic surgery, they're still old. I'm 55, but I look less than my age. And I don't speak for other people. It's not the gene, because my mother, she at my age, she look already like 65-year-old, you see. And she aged very fast, my mom. But I'm not like that. I'm aging very slowly. And it's not my fault. I mean, well, good. I mean, I feel that what ages you is what you eat, how much you eat, what you do. Yeah, what you do. Your attitude will determine your age. If you are a nasty person who do harm to animals and to others instead of help, then you will age very quickly. If you go, if you have a promiscuous life, you're more likely also to age. If you drink too much alcohol or smoke a lot, or take drugs or take medications, you are more likely to age. You see? But it's not necessary for you to go out there, keep on late night, because I keep a late night and I look young. I look much younger, like 15, 20 years younger than what I am chronologically wise. However, what ages you is your attitude to life and your character. You see? And also the soul is the soul way of your rebels when your mind is not evolved, and then your soul, once it rebels, it shows in your physical body. All the damage we do to ourselves through our actions will show up in the body, in the physical, you know. So you don't want to age. You think that you need forced to be kind. Yeah, be kind. Be kind to others. Be kind to the animals, especially. So don't do harm. Don't do harm. Don't be a bad son, daughter. Don't be a bad parent, a bad mama, bad daddy. Don't be a bad nothing. There's many people there who are fighting even for their brothers, with their brother's wives. They are fighting with their in-law, with their daughters-in-laws because of their sons, or they are fighting with their mother-in-law because they are meaning, you know. They are fighting with their moms, they fight with their daddies. It's not nice. They are being mean to their children, beat upping them and harass them psychologically and physically wise. It's not good. Karma will hit you sooner or later. And then the next process, not to age. You need not to eat too much. If you eat too much, that's it. All the free radicals, not enough from the atmosphere where we live in, all the car exhaust and smoke outside, all the pollution, all the drinks that we take, all this water with heavy metals, all the food contaminated with preservatives and chemicals, all these ages. See? And then when you ingest, you consume a lot of this, and then your metabolism is not very high up to process, to metabolize all this, it all goes to your cells and end up you age. It will go to damage your cells and you will age. So what age? Sins ages you. Your bad character will age you. What you eat will age you. what you drink, drugs, medication. I'm a 55-year-old. I do not take any drugs. I have been told, oh, you have this health problem, got the health problem. So what? I say, I'm gonna do something about it. Doesn't have to take drugs or go to doctor, begging doctors and pay half the amount of money to heal myself. If I can heal myself, why not? I'm gonna use the power of my mind, and I'm able to do this. And with the help of plants, I have always been healing myself with the help of plants because I take it from my grandmother and my mom who taught me that. Okay, it's from my mitochondrial lineage to take plants back in the northeast of Brazil. And we eat organic food. We didn't eat all this food that we eat today, and we don't eat so much. And that the food will have to be in certain time. Breakfast exactly 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. Lunch at exactly 12 p.m. If you want 8 p.m., 1 p.m. already will be too late. My mom will make sure that we eat at exactly 12 p.m. when the sun moves to the other side of the meridian. Uh, dinner time will be exactly when the sun set. 6 to 7 p.m. sharp. Have to be sharp. And that's all what we eat. We do not binge. If we have to binge, we'll eat papaya, bananas, all fruits and vegetables, organic is one. We do not take all those kind of things that we eat today, processed things like snacks, potato chips, and candies, bars. We didn't take. It will have to be fruit, only fruit. That's how I was brought up. Simple but a very healthy lifestyle. And then I married. When I married, everything was haywire, in my life. My diet, the time of eat, sleep, etc. Up to now, I don't know how I got yet to manage to stay preserved. At age 55, I look like 30, 32. Maximum 39, 38. See? So it's not about the genes. There's no sense in go because you have to be Asian, have to be Afro to be young. No, there's many of them who are younger than I, and I go, oh, my God, this person look like 50, 60. My God, the body too big or too small, I don't know. Wrinkles, dried skin, the hair all white already, you know. And there's no age to there's no certain the ethnic group. You don't have to be a certain ethnic group to age. If you have to age, you will age. All because of those factors which I pointed out. The aging gene has been isolated by some of your scientists. Experiments designed to prolong the life of humans will only work if the soul of such humans really wants to be on the earth for an extended length of time. If that's the case, the DNA can be altered by consciousness and medical manipulation. What? By conscious, okay, I choose the force. That's what I use. I use the former. In medical manipulation, no, I don't want. You waste your money and your time. I will choose this one. I can heal through this method. New technologies for food production will be introduced. How will be this technology, huh? Inserting more chemicals, more than we have today, more agrotoxics, in self-sufficient spiritual communities, new modes of transport based on EM field technology. They're gonna build this like the Jetsons. Will allow material goods to be shipped anywhere on Earth, artificially no expensive and with very little lapse of time. I don't know. I don't like this new word. Something tells me that it will not be good. I have this feeling. I may be wrong. No, nobody need to follow me. I may be wrong, but for me, I don't want that. Your scientists have already reversed engineered a number of Zeta spacecraft that utilize EM field propulsion systems like the one discussed above. Hello. Zeta Reticulis. You talk like one. Who knows you all are one? Because the Zeta Reticulis is responsible for mean um, abductions here on Earth. I have been abduction by, I don't know, is the Zeta, it's not a Zeta, or maybe it was, I don't quite remember, it was 83. They abducted me 2 times or 3 times consecutively, and they are not very evolved consciously wise, because they abduct us against our will and choice. Okay, and maybe not, it wasn't, maybe it wasn't quite Zeta Reticulis or the Salpsi race as they are called. It was another type, another versions of grace that has abducted me. But all I know that they were shorty and a small sized, and they come in gang to take you when you put up a fight. They come in gang. So we will now conclude our discussion of the changes to expect in the realm of technology. As we stated before, the subject will be revisited at a later time. And before I end this, I'm gonna make some remark. If humans doesn't know how to use their technology with consciousness, see, thanks to you predators, and thanks to you how they say it, the controllers, the alien lords, thanks to you also, because you have changed their consciousness, see, their DNA, and that's why they behave this way, you see. So if you don't want a species to behave this way, don't turn them into a wild beast. Okay? Why the yet into a wild beast? Because a wild beast you can tame, but some wild beast in a human form you can't. It's very difficult.